Hello everyone. Today we're going to be looking at the last section of 3-4, talking about word problems and horizontal and vertical lines. So we'll go over horizontal and vertical lines first. The equation of a horizontal line is y equals a number, okay? Where that value, the number, is the y-intercept. So you can think of this as, if I'm going to make a table here, my y value, no matter what I pick, is always going to be -3. And when you pick other numbers to go in there, doesn't really matter what they are, you're always going to get a line that is down at -3 because your y values will always be down there. Okay, so when we look at the x equation or the vertical line, x will always be a number, and that number will always be your x-intercept. So similarly, as we saw in that last example, here if I make a table, my x value is always going to be -2, and it doesn't really matter what I put in for these values. But if I graph that, it means that my x value will always be here at -2, so it'd be this line right here, of a line that is perpendicular. So in our previous lessons, we've talked about perpendicular lines. So the perpendicular line to 1/5 will be a slope of -5. We flip that over and change the sign. So we'll start by, maybe this time we'll start with point slope and then go through solving this. So I'm going to say y minus 0 is equal to -5, parentheses, x minus, and my x value there is 2. So here I left this as just a 0, so it's going to be left with just y. If I distributed that 5 out, I'd get -5x, and then multiply here, and we get +10. So sometimes writing it in point slope first is helpful. I don't have to solve for b then. So here's the next one. It says perpendicular. Again, so our perpendicular line to 1/3 is taking 1/3, flipping it over, and changing the sign. So we get our slope of -3. Turns out this one already is my y-intercept right there, so we could just go ahead and write the equation, +8. So the last few examples here are having to do with word problems. I'm going to give you a few clues of how you can quickly write the equation. So one thing to note is I want you to be looking for something that's a starting value. Because the starting value is going to represent your y-intercept. So at time 0 is where we're trying to figure this out. So let's look at this example. An apartment complex charges $525 per month. So this per here, this per implies that this is your m, this is your slope, and plus an additional $750 in maintenance fee. Write an equation to represent the total first year's cost A for our months. Okay, so let's think about this. I'm going to rent an apartment for months, and so R is going to be months, and my cost is going to be A. At my starting value, at time 0, I'm going to have to pay this $750 annual fee. So that means that that's my y-intercept, and this is telling me the slope that it's going up by 525 every month. So my equation will be y equals 525 every month. I'm going to put an x in there for now, and then we'll switch it, plus the 750. So the 750, or whatever it was at the beginning, is added at the end. So I'll just go ahead and change the variables here. Not A is equal to 525 R plus 750. So let's see if you can come up with this one. Press pause, try it out. So here is our annual maintenance fee, so that's like our y-intercept. It's our starting value, and this is our R value per month. So the equation for this one is going to be 600x plus the 200, and they didn't give us other letters to use, so I'm just going to use y and x. Rental car company charges $25 per day. That's a hint that that's a slope, plus a deposit. A deposit is that one-time fee. So if we think of this as my days that I'm renting and my cost, at the beginning I'm still paying that $100 as a down payment, and then every time it's going up by 25. So my equation is going to be y equals 25x plus 100. And now I'm going to switch my variables. C is equal to 25d plus 100. The last example, press pause. This one has two parts, so be careful, and we'll go through it. Alright, the first one, the deposit, again, that's your y-intercept, and your $35 per day. So this would be 35x plus 50. And in this case, x is our per day. So there is a second part of the equation, or second part of the problem that's asking us to figure out, what if we rented that for 9 days? So if we rented that for 9 days, we would get 35 times 9, because we're renting it for 9 days, and each day is 35 plus 50. So this I got to be 315 plus 50. So the total cost would be $365.